Angela, what kind of international reaction has there been to the death of the Iranian president?
Largely the reactions you would expect. The Houthis, the Iran-backed rebels in Yemen, have said it's a loss for the Islamic world. The Palestinian Authority and the West Bank have offered their condolences, as has Hamas. Putin said this is the loss of an outstanding politician. You know, at a time when a world leader dies, it is a time of protocol and respect. The European Union has offered its condolences. Mostly there has been reaction to the death of a human being. Worth noting the reaction of the opposition in exile, or the Iranian opposition in exile, the People's Mujahideen of Iran. They predict that this is a monumental blow for Iran and that it will trigger some sort of youth rebellion. So that's worth noting. But in the main, very predictable reactions.
So how do things move forward now in Iran from here? Who will replace him?
There will be an election within 50 days. It is important to note that in Iran, real power lies with the supreme leader, and that is Ali Khamenei. He is 85, so at some point the question of his succession will be addressed. But that is where real power lies. And Raisi was widely seen as someone who embodied that succession. He would take over, it was widely believed. He never challenged the distribution of power between the supreme leader and the president, and he pretty much towed the line. So everything was expected to run fairly smoothly. When these elections happen, it is important to note that the other people with real power in Iran, with the supreme leader, are his Revolutionary Guard. Now, they have the power to vet nominees for the presidency. And in the past, any time some sort of reformist candidate has been put forward, they have rejected their candidacy. They very often paint any reformists as simply puppets of the West and reject them on those terms. It might be that this time a reformist candidate is put forward and rejected, and that becomes much more of a political moment than it might normally be. What is likely to happen is everybody will be watching to see if a unifying conservative candidate can be found, and that will offer the least disruption. That is what the regime want.
So what can we expect in terms of change? Can we expect any change inside Iran or in terms of foreign policy, for that matter?
Inside Iran, it is thought to be unlikely because power lies with Khamenei and the Revolutionary Guard, and they are likely to get their way in a candidate towing their line. That said, Raisi was unpopular amongst quite a large section of the Iranian population. We saw those demonstrations in 2023 over the wearing of the woman who was jailed because she wasn't wearing her Islamic veil in the correct way, and that led to an uprising and quite a movement, particularly amongst women. It's not the first time such a movement in Iran. Since 2009, there have been 3 times when they've been quite brutally crushed, these movements. So it's unlikely that that will change. The Revolutionary Guard also has a lot of power over social, cultural, economic issues. So those who want economy prioritised are unlikely to get their way. In terms of foreign policy, it's very unlikely that will change. It's all about Iran keeping its position of preeminence with Saudi Arabia in that region, and that is unlikely to change. Their prime motive is eject the US from that area.
All right, Angela, thank you for that.